Welcome to the 2-Minute Drill presented by Novo Nordisk, driving innovation in diabetes care for nearly 100 years. EA, let's talk about some combine risers. 4 defensive players, 4 offensive players. Let's start on defense. Look no further than Athens, Georgia. Let's talk about 3 Georgia Bulldogs, starting with Jordan Davis, the big defensive tackle. Not only one of the most impressive players in Indy, probably in combine history as well.
How did anybody score on the Georgia Bulldogs last year? Historically good defense, talent at every level. Jordan Davis, 340-plus pounds. He moved like nobody else in history in terms of his 40-yard dash. And also, how about his jump, his vertical? The guy, his numbers were just staggering that a man that big can move so effortlessly. What is he going to be on the next level? We know he's going to be a run plugger, just 2 sacks last season. He might come out during definite passing situations, but Jordan Davis, he's going to be a menace on the interior.
By the numbers, Jordan Davis had better statistical numbers at the combine than some of the tight ends that were in attendance. Just something crazy to think about for a man that big. How about somebody that lined up on the same defensive line? Travon Walker, another impressive player for the Georgia Bulldogs. Seems like he catapulted his way into potentially the top 5 conversation.
Walker, 6 sacks last season for the Bulldogs. Moved across the line, but his position was defensive tackle. On the next level, you're probably going to see him play more outside. 270-plus pounds. Again, his numbers across the board were tremendous. He looked very good in position drills. A lot of people, in fact, are talking about him not only as a potential top 10 pick, but maybe a top 5 pick.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Walker goes. The athletic traits are definitely there. Let's move back to the safety spot for the Georgia Bulldogs. Lewis Seen really showed off the burners in Indy.
Kyle Hamilton, we were talking about him, rightfully so, prior to the combine. Performed well in positional drills. Seen is a guy who actually led Georgia in tackles last season. A feisty player, comes downhill, hits people, and in terms of speed, sub 4.4. He ran 4.37, so maybe he is going to find himself late in that first round.
You know, it's crazy to think about what the Georgia Bulldogs have done, because even their punter ran a 4.5. We're not going to talk about him. We're going to move on to the outside Cincinnati. Let's add a little sauce to this segment here with Ahmad Gardner, whose nickname is Sauce, and he brought it.
Yeah, a big guy, long, from the cornerback position. He's a really physically impressive player, fluid in positional drills, instinctive, finds the football, also wants that matchup on the outside. He wants to nullify your number 1 target. And questions about how would a big guy run? Well, he ran in the high 4.4s. So Ahmad brought the sauce in Indy.
All right, well, let's move to the offense, right? 4 defensive players. Let's go back to Mobile. A lot of wide receivers this past week in Indianapolis really ran well. One of those guys we saw in Mobile, that's Christian Watson out of North Dakota State.
Well, Garrett Wilson and Olave out of Ohio State, they were very good in terms of that 40-yard dash. But Watson is a kid who's 6'3", so you didn't anticipate that he would be running in the 4.3s, but that's exactly the time he put up there. And then you talk about what he did in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. He caught everything going his way. He was an explosive playmaker at North Dakota State, catching the football, running it, and even as a return man. So Christian Watson, maybe he's there at the top of the second round.
Yeah, that's definitely a name to keep an eye on. Another guy, I don't know if he's going to be there, especially considering the way he's performed in Indy and in Mobile, is Zion Johnson.
Zion Johnson, 32 is the number. That was the magic number in Indy. He's 32 reps at 225 pounds on the bench press, 32-inch vertical leap. He's a heady ball player. We saw him take some snaps at center in Mobile. I think he projects more as a guard on the next level. Squatty, strong, could be there at the top of the second round, might sneak in there late in the first.
All right, moving to the tight ends now. In Mobile, we talked a lot about the guys on the national team, Trey McBride, Jeremy Ruckert. One guy that we didn't see in practice, Greg Dulcich out of UCLA, and he had a good week in Indianapolis as well.
You could ask Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who was a quarterback at UCLA, who was one of his favorite targets, and that was Dulcich. He's a guy who's just a savvy ball player. He can find the spots in the zone. He also uses his size against defenders. People were wondering how he was going to test. He tested pretty well in terms of his speed and all those other desirable traits you're looking for. So Dulcich, his stock is probably on the rise right now.
One position we really haven't talked about, it felt like a lot in this draft process, even dating back to Mobile, is the running back spot. But I know you say don't sleep on Breece Hall. Breece Hall's the jet.
Don't sleep on either one of those guys. Breece Hall, 217 pounds, ran a sub 4.4. He's also a natural pass catcher out of the backfield. Don't forget about Kenneth Walker out of Michigan State. I know running backs, maybe they don't have the same kind of value they did a couple years ago in the draft. I think both of these kids have the potential to be studs on the next level.
As you can see, Breece Hall, 23 total touchdowns in 2021. Remarkable numbers at Iowa State. These are just some of the risers from the Combine. For your full coverage, be sure to stay right here on NewYorkJets.com.